Bitcoin is an ideology that spawned a protocol that created an asset that circulates on a network. The ideology is sovereignty, sound money, freedom and property rights, right? Dignity of the human spirit, ownership of your life force, economic sovereignty, and immortality. That's the ideology of Bitcoin. And Satoshi gave us that.
Altcoins come and go, narratives change, but Bitcoin is the truth. The hardest money the world has ever seen. I've thought about it long and hard, about the pros, the cons, dug deep, questioned everything. At the end of the day, you gotta make up your own damn mind. Me, I have conviction. This is freedom. Let's go. I'm a Bitcoin Max.
All right, legends. What can I say? Woohoo! Bitcoin is absolutely rampaging here to the upside, and will it last? Okay, this is what we will analyze today, or just maybe, guys. I told everyone this is what I'm going to do if we potentially enter banana zone over here. I told everyone this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to trade. In fact, I could not find popcorn in my cupboard. Very frustrating. I had a whole packet of popcorn, and I think my wife, my child, ate it without me knowing about it. So I'm settling for something else over here, guys. I don't know if you also like these Wonka hats, magic hats. Very nice. One of my favorite sweets. It has that like jelly gooey center on the inside, because when Bitcoin pumps like this, I told everyone this is what I am going to do. I'm going to sit back, relax, and eat popcorn, because the swing trades that I've been working so hard on, okay, is going to print me money here to the upside. And I'm also, well, funny thing, I'll tell you guys now. I also took the long that Andy spoke about inside of his live stream, but I'm out already. Damn, I'm out. I'll explain what happened there. But I made some nice profits. Nonetheless, a trade is a trade, especially if it closes in the green. Excuse me, legend. So what I want to do is just, let's see. Do I have my exchanges open here? Do I have it? Yes. Let's see if I can post this. I mean, guys, this is what I said I'm going to do, right? this is what I said I'm going to do. Okay, so what was this? This was Litecoin, if I'm not mistaken. So there was a Litecoin swing trade that I opened, still running at the moment. I'm taking the P&L screenshots as we speak. There was Doge. Ooh, I actually did enter Doge. Thank God I built a swing position on Doge. Right, guys, and this is not me doing these things in secret. I told everyone I'm buying, I'm opening up swing positions. Dewald, we're not going to get an altcoin season. Are you crazy? Are you smoking your socks? And I said, well, okay, well, maybe I am smoking my socks, but I love to buy the fear. I love to buy the fear because that's what I do as a technical analyst. When no one wants to buy, I buy the fear. Okay, and I buy when no one wants to buy because that's the right time to buy. What was that? AVAX, right? Also have ICP. ICP, I think it still has some ways to go over here, right? But there's ICP trade. Okay, so guys, you know, just bear with me. I'm making a point, right? And then what do I have open over here? Oh, on BTCC, I've got this. Let's see. Right, just to show everyone that when I post a trading setup or when I say I'm entering, guys, I'm entering, right? Because now that Bitcoin is absolutely just pumping here to the upside, right? It's a time for me to take a sweetie or a popcorn and just enjoy my hard work here to the upside. Also, just making sure that I'm taking profits, okay? Or adding to the position. You know, you can also add into strength. Anyways, guys, there's there's many more. Oh, I do have a link trade because for some reason the link trade on my Bluffin account closed by itself, luckily in profit. But I still have it running, luckily, here on BTCC. Right, guys, I'm not going to post anything. I think there's about 3 more here on BTCC that's running, but you guys can see, okay? Here are some of the swing trades that I opened. Right, and let me just put some background music. You know, you want to leave the background music for Friday, but I mean, okay, let's do this. There we go. Yes. Right, legends. So this was the moment that I was waiting for. I was waiting for the pop to the upside, and I said, I'm going to eat. You know, I've been saying this for the last couple of live streams. I'm going to eat popcorn, but in this case, I'm just going to have my Wonka hats, and I'm going to enjoy the momentum here to the upside. Okay, everything is nice in the green. I was just having a little bit of fun here, legends. Let me say hi to the beautiful community. Hi, Dewald, welcome to the live stream. Excuse me, I do have a sweets in my mouth. No need music, your voice is the music. Thank you so much, Dewald. Volume-wise, wave 5 is higher than wave 3. So, is this wave count as wave 3 continuation as a whole? We will go in Christopher. We'll go analyze that in a moment. But for now, the hard work is paying off, guys. Okay? It is not nice when you have conviction and you know that it feels uncomfortable to buy. And when you get personal messages from people saying, why are you misleading your community? How dare you, okay, tell your community that you are buying at these levels? There's not going to be an altcoin season. Okay, we're going into a bear market. Well, yeah, guys, here's the results. Okay. Who's that famous person that always says you need to be greedy when the market is fearful and you need to be fearful when the market is greedy? Guys, you know, it's just something that I've had to program my brain. When everyone says you're not going to get an altcoin season, when everyone says you're buying at the wrong levels, how dare you mislead your community? Guys, I cannot tell you what you need to do. And I always, when I say I'm buying, I'm saying this is what I am doing. This is not financial advice, but there's just too much fear for me not to buy. Also, it's not just based on emotional sentiment, guys. It's also where the structures can like to be, where the structures are for some of these altcoin trades that I took here to the upside. So these are low leverage, guys. You can see 3x, 2x, 2x, 2x. Theta trade is actually the only one that I actually went a little bit crazy on 10x because I had such a beautiful invalidation. and then 3x, 3x. So it's low leverage swing positions. And if all works out well, these are positions that I'm potentially going to hold on for the next 2 to 3 months. Okay? They're going to go down, they're going to go up, they're going to go down. I'm going to add to them. I'm going to take profits at certain areas. So these trades are just going to run. But hopefully for now, I have done the hardest work. And the hardest work was buying when no one wanted to buy, when no one had conviction, when everyone said you are absolutely crazy, you are smoking your socks. Okay, so let's take these images out the way. But I want to share, guys, there's something magical I want to share about this trade that I highlighted in the Legends Pro community. Okay? I mean, guys, I can just share with you over here. There's a lot of things that I share on a daily basis. And I think that the pro community must be thinking to themselves sometimes like, Dewald, like, just stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it, right? It's too many scenarios. Which one is going to play out? But what I try and do is always simplify it towards the end. Because here you can see 9:30 this morning, I shared the first scenario where I basically just told the legends, if price had to just fall down, here is a valid count that I'm keeping an eye on. So I usually start off the morning with a couple of scenarios, okay? Then I went through a different scenario, just zooming into that local structure. I would like to see a grind here to the upside. Well, anyways, now we got a nice little explosion here to the upside, so this is invalidated. Right, so here was another scenario, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if we do fall, okay, we shouldn't take the high, we should like literally start falling in a 5-wave A structure to the downside, and then, you know, one of the scenarios. So what I do is I go and I run through a couple of scenarios, okay? Oh, this one is still valid, by the way. This one is still valid. But then what I do is I look at all the scenarios and I then try and figure out, well, what can I trade based on all of these scenarios, right? So the first shorting opportunity was, well, if we move up and we reject from the local high where price shoots up and it falls back down, I will consider a short. Well, at the moment, it's just going, right? So there's no short to be considered. This was the only short that I highlighted. And this was the only long that I highlighted. And then the long played out here to the upside. Right, the range low strategy. And I put the rules. I don't want to go into too much details, but the pro community, they know the rules. Range low strategy. Remember the rules. Price should tap and go. The longer price spends at the level, the longer price spends at the range low, the higher the probability increase that we're going to fill the inefficiency. So you want price to tap and it must leave. And that's what happened. But that is not why price pumped. Okay, I want to share with you guys a secret. Okay, I want to share with you the ultimate trading secret. Why did I know that it was going to pump? With 100% certainty. Why did I know that it was going to pump? Right, I want to show you guys. The reason I knew price was going to pump here to the upside. Okay, this was the strategy that I highlighted. This was the range low. I want to see a tap and go. So we got the tap and go. Tap and go. That's what I wanted to see. And this is most probably 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. And eventually, you know, okay, I'll get into the technical analysis now, but I want to share with everyone, why did Bitcoin pump here to the upside? And why did I know that it was going to pump here to the upside? It was because of this. Right. There was a moment where Bitcoin was just chopping here at the trend, right? That, guys, Bitcoin loves cookies. You don't believe me? Okay, the pro members know. The pro members know. Bitcoin was here stuffing around, rejecting by the trend. Does it want to break out? Is it not going to break out? Okay, I entered in the zone. I had my stop loss below the low. As price moved here towards the trend, I protected my position. I saw a lot of the pro members also jumped into that position. Congratulations. Okay, and then as Bitcoin was chopping here, I told the pro members, watch this. I put the cookie there and it just exploded. Bitcoin loves cookies, guys. Okay, if you want a short, you put the cookie to the downside. If you want to have a long, you put the cookie to the upside, but you can't give it too many. Okay, It needs to be hungry for that cookie. You can only give it like one a week, right? It only works once a week. Right, guys, I'm just having a little bit of fun over here. Okay. Right, that was the magic, legends. That was the magic that got Bitcoin here to the upside. Right, let me go through some more comments. Mr. Mark Dutch, welcome in the house. Appreciate your support. Yeah, cookie. Yes, it was the cookie. Right, I'm not sure if there's any of the pro members here. I know Crypto Big Brains. This is how I win the trade. Yes, boy, oh boy. Right, Aditya, welcome to the stream. Appreciate the mods here supporting me. It's just the beginning. Warren Buffett, how dare you, Dewald, mislead your community into huge profits? Yes, I mean, exactly, guys, exactly. Right, and you know, I can now just close those swing positions and say, well, okay, I've made enough profits. Okay, I'm happy with the trades here to the upside. But I have taken a little bit of profits on some of them just to cover fees, because when you leave swing trades open for a long time, it does accumulate fees. But for some reason, some of my fees has actually gone into the green because I'm being paid for holding long positions because no one wants to buy. Okay. Right, so legends, without further ado, let's maybe do some technical analysis and let's stop the silliness. Damn it, stop the silliness here on the channel. Okay, let's go. New Year, Dutch is to watch. So I decided I would. Dawn, welcome to the live stream. Yes, it's not usually like this, I promise you. I'm not usually this crazy, okay? I do from time to time smoke my socks before I go here onto the live stream, to tell people that I am buying at crazy levels where no one is interested. But I mean, that's just me at the end of the day. Love it, Dewald. Let the show begin. Yes, let the show begin. Irina, yes, I remember we had cookie stream before. You remember, okay? We had the FMOC meeting and I had also a cookie above and a magnet below. And where did Bitcoin go? It went and it grabbed the cookie, right? Bitcoin is a cookie monster. Guys, if you don't believe me, well, okay, here's the results. It went and it ate that cookie like there's no tomorrow. So, legends, a little bit, okay, I know a lot of you have been on Andy's stream, but just, you know, from an education perspective, these range low strategies, they are powerful, and if you can spot them, they do play out with a high win rate, okay, with a high probability. I would say 75% to 80% of the time, these range low and range high strategies play out to perfection. So just quickly from an education perspective, what I want to explain over here is when you have a large pump with large volume, that first low that you make over there after the pump is a very important level to keep in mind. And that is what I refer to as the range low. After you've had a massive pump with massive volume, you want to keep an eye on that range low. And this was the only long that I highlighted today. I had a short from the highs. Obviously, there was no reaction. Price just continued, so no short to be taken. And then price was ranging over here. And then I had this level marked out on the Legends Pro community. And I said, guys, this is the level that I'm watching for long. Okay, and I even went into a little bit more detail and I said I did some Elliot wave theory on the structure as well. I said it looks like a WXY, A, B, C, and a W, X here to the upside, and we're going to form another A, B, C to the downside and tap the range low, which it did. Right, so together with Elliot wave theory and the range low, that is how I build confluence. Okay, right, so and then we could just continue to the upside, and all these other scenarios I'm still going to talk about. Okay, but as you guys can see, I do share a lot of scenarios, but then I try and summarize it. Okay, here's where I did the summary. Provided as many of the scenarios as I could. Also highlighted the shorting and longing opportunities, looking for a short from the local high and longs from the range low. That's it, right? All nicely summarized. Okay, so legends, now we got the pump here to the upside, but the one thing that I am spotting over here, when I look at this structure on the 15-minute time frame, okay, I see high volume over here and I see lower volume over here. That to me is a clue, okay? It's a clue that whatever is happening here to the upside could be the final leg to the upside. Because if there's going to be aggressive continuation to the upside, you wanted to see this. You wanted to see higher volume. But when you stretch your legs again to the upside on lower volume, to me, that is a clue. Okay? And let me explain it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? The market moves in 5 impulsive waves to the upside. And it continues with 3-wave corrective structures up, 3-wave corrective structures up. Usually, mostly, your third wave has the highest amount of volume. Okay, so if that is your volume over there, it has the highest amount of volume, and then your first wave has a little bit less volume. And then when you have the last leg to the upside, it finishes on lower volume. Okay, and this is now what I'm spotting over here. So this could be coming to an end very soon. So it's all about analyzing this little structure here to see, well, how high can it go, and is it going to start slowing down? And for the moment, it looks like it wants to start slowing down. So I know we are all extremely bullish. We are hyped. Okay. The portfolios look good. Your spot entries look good. If you do have a swing trade open or a high leverage position, it could be coming to an end very soon. But there are some levels that I'm watching here to the upside. Okay, so let me take this out the way. And right, let's analyze this little structure. So let me see if I think I have it prepared here, guys. Local 112, Elliot wave 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one over here. Right, it could be coming to an end very soon. So I am counting the first wave from this low. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Corrective structure in a number 2, and then we had a third explosive wave here to the upside. When you zoom into the 1 minute 30-second time frame, you can count 4, 5, 4, 5 here to the upside. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. You can count it on the smaller time frames. Very aggressive here to the upside. So I was still looking for 4. And now we're potentially finishing the last stretch here to the upside because volume is slowing down. Okay, for me to see continuation, if you want to go to $120,000, $130,000 from here, I want to see volume increasing, but volume is decreasing at the moment. And this could be the end of the 5-wave structure. Okay, you could make a 3-wave corrective structure and continue, but you need to slow down first. You need to slow down. And it's usually the corrective structure, or the structure to the downside that gives me the clue whether we are going down much lower or whether it's still corrective. This, ladies and gentlemen, was a corrective structure. It was a 3-wave corrective structure. Okay, so, I mean, if you can't see it, right, I can draw it out for you. 1, 2, 3. It's a 3-wave corrective structure. Okay. I thought, from a bearish case perspective, I was like, well, the only way that we are going to aggressively drop here to the downside is 112s. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. 1. And then as soon as we took that high, I was like, okay, we're going. It's going to go. Right? Because now you're invalidating the multiple 1, 2. The multiple 1, 2s. Right, so now Bitcoin is where it is, right? And now I need to zoom into the 5-minute time frame, because now the question is, okay, is it coming to an end? Guys, I'm not going to go lower than the 5-minute time frame because, that's just crazy, but there's potentially a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It looks like a triple 1, 2, but you basically have the grind. Okay, at the bottom. And now what you're looking for is the grind on top. Okay, so one could argue 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. So there's a chance, okay, maybe one more high, and then it's going to start correcting in a larger 3-wave corrective structure. But you can see that it's starting to lose steam. I'm not saying it's just going to dump from here. I'm saying it's starting to lose steam. So we can calculate 5-wave targets to the upside. So let me just see. There's a couple of ways to calculate it. First, the most bullish way is from number one to number 3 to number 4. Okay. Usually the 0.618 is actually the target, but you can see we are now here by the 786. Also, what I want to do, I mean, I don't even think, okay, you can also take it from the high to the low, reverse it to the upside. I think we surpassed the 1.618. Okay, this is definitely a very aggressive, very aggressive 5th wave here to the upside. It's actually surpassed all the targets. The 1.618, when you measure it this way, is usually a 5th wave target, most commonly inside of the flat target zone. Using it, measuring it from wave 1 to 3 to 4, okay, usually the 618 is a target, and now we're here at the 786 already. So it's a really aggressive 5th wave here to the upside. What I also like to do is I can take all these fib levels out the way. Let's go on to the 1 hour. Guys, this is where I rip out my fib extensions, and this is where they become very powerful. Let's take it here from the previous all-time high to the low. Let's drag it across and see where we are. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it can still rock and roll here a little bit, but I mean, it's going up on lower volumes. So I would say, you know, if you start closing candles below here, below the 1.05, it's most likely going to start with a little bit of a deeper correction, because you have to remember this structure now needs to correct itself. This structure corrected itself. This structure corrected itself. This structure will most likely correct itself. The question is, as long as you can maintain higher highs and higher lows, you could continue to the upside and just grind to the upside. You should not lose market structure. Okay, this is just basic technical analysis. Higher highs, higher lows. It's in your best interest to look for longs until you break market structure. So if you take this low, market structure is broken. So the invalidation for bullish momentum to continue to the upside is 107. Let's just call it 107,500. Okay, $107,500. That is where you will change market structure. If price had to come down and it takes this low, okay, you could get the bounce, make a lower high, and then start reversing price action to the downside. For now, we have higher highs and we have higher lows. Okay, so this little 5-wave structure could correct itself in a 3-wave structure, form another higher low, and continue momentum here to the upside. So the trend is up, and you trade with the trend. The trend is your friend until the very end, until there's no more trend. Just keeping it simple over here. But price for me at the moment is a little bit in no man's land. Okay, it's just it's in the middle of nowhere. There's no Fibonacci levels, unless I just want to see something here. Okay, let's run through a couple of scenarios. Ooh, it's broken out. So this one has been invalidated. So guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through a couple of scenarios, and I'm going to delete some scenarios that has been invalidated. Okay, so first scenario that I was looking at, because I want to see, I can potentially still calculate this. I can see an A, B, C here to the upside. Okay, but I'm going to do that now. Let's run through a couple of scenarios. Remember to smash up that like button if you haven't done so already. Let's go. Contracting diagonal has been invalidated. Okay, the 1-to-1 extension was the invalidation for this contracting diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You tap the 1-to-1 extension, which means that your fifth wave is now longer than your third wave, which means your third wave is the shortest. It's invalidated. So what do? I delete it. Okay, so we can delete the contracting diagonal. 112. Ooh, okay, I'll get into that one in the smaller time frames. I want to see if this one has been invalidated. This one, ladies and gentlemen, has not been invalidated just as yet. Okay, let me explain. Now, there's a target at 114. So, Mr. Mark Dutch, I know why you told Andy to short $114,000. Because this scenario is still very much valid. Okay, let me explain this scenario. This is one of the scenarios that I highlighted to the pro communities this morning. Is there is a chance where you have finished an A, B, and we could go down for a C. Okay, so let me explain the internal counts. You have a three-wave structure in an A. You have a W, X, Y to the upside. You have an ABC and a W. Okay, you have a three-wave corrective structure, basically an ABC in an X or a W, X, Y, and an X, it doesn't matter. And now you're forming an A, B, C to the upside. And this is where I get these targets from. Right, so to the upside, guys, when price is in price discovery, a lot of people get stuck. They don't know what to do. They're like, there's no more daily levels. There's no more weekly levels. There's nothing. Okay, it's in price discovery. You are flying in a spaceship and you are exploring space. You go where no man has gone before, type of thing. The only tool that you can use is fib extensions. That's it. That's all you can use, guys. So you need to learn how to use fib extensions properly. So for this scenario, which by the way has not been invalidated, what you now want to see is an A, B, C. Maximum target for your C wave is the 1.618. Okay, common target 1.236. Very common C wave target, $114,000. So Mark Dutch, now I know why you told Andy to potentially short at that level. Okay, because there's a chance. Let's zoom into the structure. So just to make sure that I did this correctly, okay? You have a 5-wave structure in a A, you have a 3-wave corrective structure in a B, and now you have multiple 1-2s over here and 3, 4, 5. So you're basically now completing your C wave to the upside, which is, by the way, an impulsive structure. A C wave, okay, it's always a 5-wave structure here to the upside. Always. Right, now the question. This is now the question, okay, because you can have a WXY. I want to take these trends, guys. I am brainstorming here while I am doing the stream, so please excuse me because that is not a valid scenario anymore. What I'm trying to figure out over here is that you could potentially have, okay, because it's important for me to have my trend-based fib at exactly the right level, okay? There could be a triangle over here, okay? That's your little mini triangle, and I'll explain now. You have a mini triangle over here. So this looks like a W, X, Y that ended over there. So your B wave moves there. This then impacts how I pull my trend. Needs to be from that low. Oh, you see now this is where the magic starts kicking in. As soon as I move my trend-based fib, taken from this high to this low, to that little low over there, because you have a ABC and a W, you have an ABC and an X, and you have an ABC, a triangle in your Y wave. You have an A, B, C, D, E in a Y wave. sorry, I'm confusing myself over here. Okay, which that is your low at $108,000, 273. Now, when I put my trend-based fib on that little low, look at where price rejected. Okay, at the 1-to-1 extension to the dollar. We figured it out. I'm always very curious. You guys can ask. The pro community knows this as well. The pro community knows when price just stops and it turns around or it starts getting a rejection. I want to know why, and I will keep on scratching until I figure it out. So I think we have the right fib pool here at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so please pay attention to these levels. Currently, price is getting a reaction at the 1-to-1 extension. And if I zoom here into the 15-minute time frame, look at this. Okay, this is where I know that the fib pool is correct, because now I go and slightly just backtest the fib pool. Okay, I just need to make it shorter. Okay, just make it a little bit shorter so we can see the levels. Look at what happened when price, okay, look at the blue line. Look at the 786. Okay, can you guys see the 786, the blue line over here? Look at what happened. You got a reaction. Got a reaction at the 786. So this is how I backtested. And now you reject it at the 1-to-1 extension. So if price continues, well, then obviously I'm going to look at the next level of rejection. So if price has now another little blast off over here, these levels becomes very interesting shorting opportunities. Okay, this is where I can get in with good risk management. Guys, there's no weekly levels. There's no monthly levels. There's no point of controls. Price is in price discovery. You have to learn to use your trend-based fibs. Okay. Right, so there's a chance. There's a chance. Okay, let's see. That this could be the end of Y. Sorry, I need to swap them around. The end of C. The end of Y. The end of B. Okay, just put them in that order. Okay, so unfortunately, it has to be said that this scenario has not been invalidated. So I can take this entire structure, drag it up. Okay, so just to explain this again, if price is going to start dumping over here, I'm not going to short now, guys. This is not, I missed it, right? If I had figured this out before the live stream, I would have most probably attempted to short here at the 1-to-1 extension. Beautiful tap there at the 1-to-1 extension, but nonetheless. So you have a 3-wave structure in an A. Okay, don't worry about the internal counts, but you guys can see the bigger picture. You have a 3-wave structure in an A wave, which means that your B over here, the bigger B, let me just highlight it. This B, okay, let me switch it on the line so everyone can see. Make it nice and thick. Okay, which means that your B has to be a flat. Your B has to take the high or at least tap the minimum 0.9 Fibonacci level. Okay, and price has claimed the highs, so it's already in flat territory. We know that. Okay, so it can still go a little bit higher, no problemo, but this is the most bearish case scenario that I have on the cards right now. So if by tomorrow price is over here, for example, okay, we know that we have spoken about this scenario. There's a chance that the B could be finished. And now what you want to see, guys, I'm not going to short just now, yeah, because there's another way to get into the short. It's the retracement that's going to give me the clue to get in. Okay, so let me take the noise here out the chart. Let's zoom into the structure. If this is the end, guys, if this, and I'm going to talk about the, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to talk about the extreme bullish case scenario. So please just don't say that Dewald is now just bearish over here and we're going to go to $100,000 from here. I'm going to show you how I will get into this trade. Okay, for some reason, my mouse is not playing along. Okay, let's try this again. Right. If this is the end, okay, let's zoom in here. I want to see 5 waves to the downside. I want to now see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to see 5 impulsive waves. I don't want that wave to go into the territory of 1. I want to see a 5-wave impulsive structure to the downside. I don't care if I miss the tippy top. I'm not in the game to catch bottoms and tops. If I see a 5-wave structure to the downside, and you form a 3-wave structure to the upside, and there is bearish CVD between these two pivots as price is moving to the upside, this is where I'm going to short, because this gives me the clue that this could be a wave 1. This is going to be your wave 2. Okay, so your wave 2, and then ladies and gentlemen, you could be looking at an impulsive wave 3 to the downside. But I have to see 5 waves to the downside. And I will short the 3-wave corrective structure. Okay, so obviously there's still a lot that needs to happen. We've just aggressively pumped here to the upside. So for me, okay, no short. I'm not going to just short here blindly speculating on this scenario, because there's still a bullish case scenario as well. Right, but legends, this is the most bearish case scenario that I have right now. If price just suddenly drops, okay, it's not just gonna, guys, it's not just gonna do this, okay. Price moves in waves, and it's the structures that gives me the clue whether I should be looking for upside or whether I should be looking for downside. Okay, right, so I want to see 5 wave structures to the downside. And I will analyze this together with the Legends Pro community. If we can count a clear impulse here to the downside and a 3-wave corrective structure to the upside, we are most likely going to be in that short. Okay. But this is now, let's get to the bullish case scenario. Okay, let's switch all of the noise off over here. Right, and I want to throw these things. Okay, I can, yeah, just leave it there for now. I want to go into the bullish case scenario. Delete the cookie. But before I do, let's go through some comments. Okay, remember guys, the links for the exchanges with the best bonuses and lowest trading fees are down in the description. Bluffin, they've got, you know, the money that you deposit, you get 20% extra to trade with. They've got that competition running at the moment, the WOW competition, right? It's still going to run for another 4 days. So if you want to join the competition and win our share of $4.2 million in prizes, okay, this is the link where you can go and register. BTCC, all these trades that I've highlighted here, okay, you guys can see, okay, all the trades that I highlighted over here, okay, it's taken on Bluffin and on BTCC, the swing trades that I opened. For some reason, the fees are very low, okay? I haven't paid a lot of fees, and I've had these trades open for, I think 2 or 3 weeks already. Okay, so really enjoying the fees here on BTCC and Bluffin at the moment. Right, so links are down in the description for BTCC, no KYC. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. Weeks also, if you use this link to open up a Weeks account, you will get 20% extra to trade with. You'll get 25% discount on your trading fees, and you will be upgraded to VIP status 1 and also get all the benefits that comes along with it. Right, legends. Phoenix is here as well. Okay, all of these exchanges, all you need is an email and a password, or a phone number and a password to sign up and start trading. Okay, so now, where were we? I want to go through some comments before we continue. Okay, but I want to, where's that? I just want to, guys, I want to put these things in the folders where they need to be. So for now, I'm just going to switch them off, and I'll do it after the live stream. Right, let's do this and switch off all these scenarios. Let me go through some comments. Cookie deleted, dump incoming. Yeah, guys, I think there's a good chance that we could start slowing down over here. Okay, there's a really good chance that we could slow down over here, because I know that there's a lot of people counting this as multiple 1-2s. But to me, this looks part of the corrective structure in a triangle. Okay, and I can actually show you guys a couple of examples of this that's played out many times before. The most recent one, where I don't have to go too far back, was, let me just wait for this to load up, was what happened here. Do you guys remember this long, boring corrective structure where we have formed a W, okay, a X, and a triangle in a Y? Okay, so your corrective structure ended here. You had a W, X, Y inside of a triangle. And everyone thought that this was a bullish structure. This was a 1-2 that took us to the upside. No, this was actually a three-wave structure. Three-wave structure. This was the low, and this was the higher low that kickstart everything. Okay, outside of the triangle. So it's basically the same principle that I'm applying over here, is to say that on the 15-minute time frame, right, it does not look like double 1-2s to me. It really counts better as a WXY that ended in a triangle. Okay, exactly like I've explained just there. You have an ABC in W, you have an ABC in X, and you have an AB, well, basically a triangle, A, B, C, D, E in a Y wave. And then this is where it started. And that is your higher low. So this is a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not a double 1-2. No bueno. Not a double 1-2, right? Nothing's ever guaranteed, but I'm just showing you guys what I'm seeing here on the structure. So this looks to me like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now this little structure over here, this little grind, now this looks a little bit like double 1-2s over here. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Maybe you get another 4, 5, but it looks like it's going to top out in the zone. You get the grind at the bottom, you get the grind at the top, and when it starts breaking down, you know you're either busy with a correction. Okay, if it's a three-wave corrective structure, I'm looking for longs. Exactly what happened over here. If it's gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if I see that, I'm gonna be looking for shorts over there. It's as simple as that, right? If the X is a three-wave corrective structure, then shouldn't this C wave inside of X be at least 0.618 high? Bearish side. Let me just try and figure if the X is a three-wave. You're talking about the bigger structure that I've just explained on the 1 hour time frame. Shouldn't the C, yes, you're talking about this C over here. Bearish side, just let me know if I am hitting the spot. The C, okay, did not hit the 0.618. I know, but I have seen C waves not hit minimum targets. I have seen it. It's very rare, but it does happen. I know, right? Because I know when we made this high, I was like, why did it not hit at least the 0.618, which was a little bit further up? But it's not an invalidation. Right. I'm just trying to show you that is the bearish case. You know, a good technical trader or a good technical analyst always has to have a bullish and a bearish case scenario. It's just, that's the name of the game. So I'm trying to show you guys, well, if price, okay, I'm going to show you now the bullish case scenario. Make no mistake. I'm going to show you the super bullish case scenario. But tomorrow, if price is over here, okay, and we took the lows and we're starting to change market structure with a lower low, okay, at least I have told you, I have, you know, we've looked at the bearish case scenario. I know where to short, I know where to long, based on the structure, and I will keep the Let Pro community up to date. So now let's go into the most bullish case scenario. I actually named it the most bullish case scenario, and it is this little bad boy over here. Okay, This is the most bullish case scenario that I have at the moment. Okay. When you are ready, can you apply Elliot wave theory to BTC dominance to predict alt season? Okay, I will get to that in a moment. Okay, I'll get to that in a moment. Let's first discuss the most bullish case scenario here for the price of Bitcoin. And it's actually very easy, guys. It's very easy. Do you see that I have a red invalidation line on the chart? Do you see it? Do you see it? Okay. As soon as this level gets tapped, this goes out the window. Okay. So this is the most insane bullish case scenario. Basically, just to keep it simple, you have higher highs and you have higher lows. Okay, and even if this is your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 now here to the upside, you want it to correct in a three-wave structure without claiming this level. It's not allowed to claim this level over here. As soon as you claim this low, you're going to start changing market structure and you're going to invalidate the bullish case scenario. It's not allowed to. Okay, so as long as price can stay above the invalidation, up we go. It's as simple as that. So you have 5 waves up, you have a 3-wave corrective structure. You have 5 waves up, you have a 3-wave corrective structure that ended over there, basically in your W, X, Y, like I've just explained in a lot of detail. Okay, now you have another 5-wave structure to the upside. So you could be building up multiple 1-2s, okay? And the more 1-2s you build up, the more aggressive the explosion to the upside. Okay, do you guys remember this? I just have to, my internet is, or trading view, it can't be my internet, guys. I just need to make sure. Okay, let's open up a blank piece of paper. I just want to make sure that my internet is not stuffing around. I'm not too concerned about the download speed. It's usually the upload speed that needs to be... No, it's good. Okay, so it's not my internet, guys. It's TradingView stuffing around. Okay. Right, so now, the most recent example that we all remember, that's not too long ago. I'm just waiting for the price action to load up over here. Okay, let's go to the form. Maybe it needs a higher time frame. Okay, the chart is really frustrating me here at the moment. Okay, was this little move up here? Do you guys remember? Okay, after we ended the corrective structure over here in a triangle, okay, which was the Y wave, A, B, C, D, E. I can't remember exactly. Maybe we ended it over there. But look at what you did over here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and it just you have this leg here to the upside, that explosion, but you built up multiple 1-2s and then you exploded to the upside. So this is now what we want to see happen here in the most bullish case scenario. It did not take the lows. Okay, it maintained the bullish momentum. It made higher highs, higher lows, and then you get that guard candle to the upside. And this is basically your third wave. Okay, we want to see that guard candle. So even if it corrects over here in a 3-wave structure, it needs to correct in a 3-wave structure, bullish CVD. Okay, that would be preferred. Okay, then you can continue here to the 3 and the 4 and the 5, and then you have your third wave here to the upside. You come down, you make another 4, and you go back up in another 5-wave structure, and you can easily go and hit $130,000, $125,000. But usually after multiple 1-2s, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, you're going to get that guard candle to the upside. Okay, that gap. Let me just clean up all the scribble here. Okay, this is what you're looking for. Okay, you're looking for this. You're looking for that. Multiple 1-2s, and then you get that guard candle. And because of the 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, okay, you then expect 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5 in the exact account. And this is what we got, okay, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. And then we had an ABC here or WXY here to the downside. Right. So, legends, this is the most bullish case scenario. So, from a simplicity perspective, this structure is still intact until you tap the invalidation. If you tap the invalidation, then we could be going down in that C wave that I've just explained. Okay. Right. And we will analyze that when we get there, because you can create a C flat, okay, ABC flat. So let me switch off this scenario. Put that one back on. Okay. The question is, I don't know if the C is going to take the low of A. In a flat, it is the most common. When you have a B that takes the high, okay, most commonly 7 out of 10 times your C takes the low of A. If the C does not take the low, that is what we call a running flat. And often what happens in extreme bullish environments, okay, you get a running flat. Because technical traders that know Elliott wave theory very well, they will spot the flat and they will wait for the A to be claimed, and they will build their position once you claim the A. This is where they will build their position. Often what market makers will do, especially in extreme bullish environments where they know that there's a lot of limit orders waiting over here, they will create a flat, a running flat that does not claim it and push it up, forcing people to buy in at higher levels. Right, guys, I know that I have gone through a lot of Elliott wave theory. Not everyone gets Elliott wave theory, but it is the only predictive tool that we have available. It's the only one. And I always have bullish and bearish case scenarios. And based on the levels that we hit, I will eliminate and delete some scenarios so that I have less scenarios to look at. Okay. But what's most important to me is the local structures, because I can trade the local structures, like the trade that we got in today. Okay, guys, you know, this is as simple as it gets. Going here onto the 5-minute time frame, okay, I was looking at this structure. I counted all the waves and everything like that, and I was like, okay, well, you know, the highest amount, I look for volume. Usually, your third waves has the most amount of volume. They are the most aggressive. Okay, so now I look for 1, 2. Okay, now I found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can count a 5-wave structure over here and a 3-wave corrective structure. It made a higher low. So this looks like 1, 2, and then you have 3 here to the upside in a high amount of volume. This is how I, okay, read the structures. Now I know that you need a 4th wave in a 3-wave structure. You need a 3-wave structure in a 4th wave, and I saw the range low strategy. Okay, that's where we got in, right? You could also have your trend where we broke out. Okay, your little bullish pennant. Okay, it's as simple as that. But we're trying to catch these ones. That's the best entry. Okay, it's the best entry, right? So now I know that I'm looking for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So somewhere here, if it hasn't already done it, the structure is going to start topping out. So it's too fresh. What's happening here at the moment? Okay, let me just zoom in over here. This, for me, is too fresh to do anything. It's too fresh. I need more information to make a trading decision. I cannot tell you to long or to short over here. The only short that I would have attempted over here was that level over there, if I had my fibs figured out, but I didn't. I figured it out here on the live stream together with you. Okay, we tapped the 1-to-1 extension to perfection. Now, I love to short these Fibonacci levels. Crypto Big Brains, one of the pro community members, and I know some of the other pro community members as well. We short these fib levels very successfully because your risk management is absolutely phenomenal. Okay, so there's a chance that this is the top, and based on what happens over here, I'm either going to long, okay, or I'm going to short if I see that. Right, it's as simple as that. You're welcome, Dewald. Smash the likes. Yes, yeah, at work for us. Yes, only the general of Elliott wave will understand. Stefan 1, yes, I mean, Elliott wave theory is not easy to understand, guys, but you know what? Without me even knowing this structure, okay, without me knowing anything about Elliott wave theory, whether this was a 1, 2, 3, 4, without me knowing anything, I knew my trend lines, my D-line strategy, and I know the range low and the range high strategy. And the range high strategy or the range low strategy is very simple. When you see a massive pump with high volume, you look for the lowest point when price fell to the downside for the first time. You look for the lowest point in the structure. Okay, and you go and you tap, you take your horizontal, you click your magnet and you snap it on there. Okay, the rule for the strategy is very simple. Well, this is the rules that I've built for the strategy. Okay, is I call it the tap and go. I also refer to the strategy as the tap and go. Without knowing anything about Elliott wave theory, this is what I spot, this is what I spotted, and this is what I used to trade and still trade today. Okay, if price makes that low, and now you have your line, if price comes back to this level, it needs to tap it and go. You enter as soon as price gets acceptance back above that low, and you put your stop loss below the wick. And as soon as price starts moving away, you protect your position. Immediately you protect your position. And I'll explain why, because it's based on the rules of the strategy. And this is why I love the range low strategy, because I can protect my position so quickly. Okay? Because the rules of the strategy states, if you tap this level twice, you significantly increase the probability that you're going to fill the inefficiency. So price needs to tap it and move away. This is why I protect my position as quickly as possible. Because if price came back and it retested this line, even with a bounce, even if it bounced, I don't care if it bounced, that little tap increases the probabilities you're going to fill this inefficiency. And I have seen it play out many times. When price comes back, it stops you out and it bounces. You might be thinking, oh shit, I should have left my stop loss below the wick. Often what happens is it falls. Or another rule is it should not close any bodies below this area. So it's fine. Sometimes price even goes a little bit deeper, but it gets bought up immediately and it needs to go. You follow the same rules. But if it starts chopping below the level, okay, you see a little bit of a consolidation below the level, you start looking for shorts. Okay, it's going to fill the inefficiency. Most probably even claim that low. So I know the rules of the strategy. So when we tap the level, I knew, okay, I got in a little bit late. I got in over there, okay, but I had my stop below the low. Price pumped here to the upside and I protected my position. And then also, there was a trend, guys. There's another strategy. You have a trend breakout. Okay, so from a trend line breakout perspective, I don't know if the trade actually made sense. Okay, if you play the breakout, you're targeting the highs as a profit-taking area. You have your stop below the low. Our risk to reward is not great. Okay, so from a trend line perspective, risk to reward is not great. But this is why I love Elliott wave theory. Because in the past, when I used to play the D-line strategy, I would not have taken this trade because it's against my rules. The risk to reward doesn't make sense. But because I know Elliott wave theory, I know that the fifth wave can extend a little bit higher. Okay, it can extend a little bit higher. And usually the minimum target for your fifth wave is when you take your trend-based FIP from the high to the low, you drag it across, it's in this box. This is your minimum fifth wave target. So now when I plan my trade and I play the breakout, okay, now I have a risk to reward that makes sense. So now I can play the breakout. Because I know Elliott wave theory, I know that price is most likely going to tap this line. And you can see where it got the consolidation. It got the consolidation inside fifth wave territory. Okay. Right, guys. Showered you guys with a lot of education and alpha over here. All I ask in return is that you hit that like button to get the YouTube algorithm to spread the channel to people that have not seen it before. Step for one, that low range was so perfect with the 0.3. Let me see, actually. I didn't actually look at the fib, but you need to take your fib from this low to the high. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Also supported by the 0.382. Beautiful. 0.382. Beautiful tap. I wouldn't have even mind, even if it came down and it tapped the 50%, okay, I would have had a better entry. If it came down and it tapped the 50% and it did that, I would have entered right over there with my stop below the wick, just to get a better entry, okay. And then once price moves up, you know, you can protect your position, because now you know the rule, okay. If price moves up, okay, it's not allowed to tap this line again, so you can even put your stop loss in profits already. Okay, it's a very powerful strategy to know, guys, and they play out very often. You see them play out very often, especially if you have nice volatility in the market, nice 5-wave structures, because the third wave usually has the high volume, the range low, creates that fourth wave, okay, and you see continuation back to the upside. Big 3 lifer Andy Dewald. Okay, Dewald, the only thing that I was concerned about is that trade was time, but SFP from, yes, I know it took a very long time. I saw that as well, but you have to remember that time is never in invalidation, okay? It just impacts probabilities. The thing about the time fib, guys, that I just need to quickly highlight over here is, because if you're counting this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, very long in time. The fourth wave is very long compared to your second wave. And it is concerning, okay? But the most important thing from a timing perspective that I take into consideration is the 0.382. It's the most important thing that I take into consideration. So when I measure wave 2 and I snap it on, yes, I need to get this perfect onto the high, okay, and I zoom in, right? This little 0.382 is the most important for me. If price fell down here, okay, I will not long because of this. But because the low was made after the 0.382, that's where I start getting interested, right? But yes, then it just carried on and it carried on. And I mean, you can see that it even most probably 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Yes, I must admit it is extremely long in time. Okay. But the times to the right for me carries lower probability than the 0.382. That's the one where I usually pay the most attention to, because that's what happened in this structure. Do you guys remember? Okay. Let me go back here onto the 1 hour time frame, okay, and show you a perfect example. A perfect example is, right, when you take a time fib from the low to the high. Okay, it's when we made, for those of you that have been following me for a while, you know exactly. When we made this low, I was like, nope, it's not time. It's not time. Okay, because your impulse and your correction is too short for the impulse. It's too short. So this is the most important one that I pay attention to. Personally, yes, when something starts overextending in time, like the 2 extension, the 3 extension, it does impact probabilities, but the most important one for me is the 0.382, because this one told me that the correction is not done. And guess what? We made another low after the 0.618. Okay. So yes, it was very long. I'm not going to lie, okay? I'm not going to lie. But it's very seldom that it happens, but it does happen, right? But it's just the 0.382 is more important to me. Dewald loves kakpraat. Mark Dutch, right? The DJ of Legends community. I'm having a hard time seeing that as a wave 3? Can it not be the wave 1? Right, well, you when you zoom into the smaller time frames, okay, guys, I used to count the 1 minute time frame. I even used to count the 15-second time frame. I don't do it anymore, right? Someone once told me, very experienced in Elliot wave theory, that just, you know, minimum stick to the 15-minute time frame. Stick to the 15-minute time frame. Okay, there's a lot of noise inside the smaller structures, so just stick to the 15-minute time frame. And if in doubt, zoom out. Don't zoom in, because you're going to confuse yourself when you zoom in. But what I can tell you guys is when I do zoom in, I can count 4 5s inside of there. I can. Okay, but the clue for me is I can see a 1 2 3 with high volume. That's my clue. Okay, this is most probably the third wave. It has the highest amount of volume. I can see a 1 and a 2. I'm not going to go and scratch around in the 1 minute 30-second time frame. I don't give a crap. Okay, this is your 4 and a 3 wave structure, range low, breakout, 5th wave here to the upside. So for now, this looks like a 5 wave structure. Okay. Now the question is, okay, when you have a 5 wave structure, you can form a 3 wave structure and continuation back to the upside. Okay, this then becomes your 1, this becomes your 2, and this becomes your 3. Okay, but it's gonna, 3 is gonna rock and roll a little bit harder here to the upside. Okay. Cool, legends. That is basically what I wanted to discuss. I just want to see if I'm not missing any other scenarios here at the moment. Let me just open up my feed over here. Let's go. Right, let's go and see that we have, let's go back here onto the 1 hour time frame. I just want to see if I'm not missing anything over here. Okay, so flat we've discussed. Okay, completed WXY, and basically you're looking for upside. Okay, most bullish case scenario we've discussed. Okay, but in this most bullish case scenario, guys, basically, you know, it's very simple. You should not take the invalidation, right? So if this is a 5 wave structure here to the upside, you want to see a 3 wave corrector structure and you want to see continuation. It's basically as simple as that. If you're going to form a 5 wave structure here to the downside, tap the invalidation, we're most probably going down lower. And I do have some interesting levels where I will be looking for longs. I have some very interesting levels, but I will talk about that once price gets there. I'm not going to go into too much detail about those levels that I'm looking for longs there to the downside. Right, for now, the trend is your friend and the trend is up. So it's still in your best interest to look for longs. You need to trade with the trend, and the trend is up. Price is making higher highs and higher lows. So pullbacks are potentially still buying opportunities until you take this invalidation. Then you're going to start changing market structure. You don't want to change market structure to get to this target. And those are basically all the scenarios and possibilities that I have here at the moment. Dawn, thank you. Absolute pleasure. Thank you so much, Dewald. Irina, it's an absolute pleasure. Thanks. Stefan, when's the next hit coming? Oh, you mean from a song perspective? Guys, I've got so many songs. I don't know if you most probably heard this one. You know this one? Right.
Big move in Bitcoin then. In contrast to all the...
No, that's the only... It's that one and the Michael Saylor one that I have over here.
Bitcoin is an ideology that spawned a protocol.
It's the one that I love to start my YouTube streams with lately, Michael Saylor, and, you know, his passion for Bitcoin, being a Bitcoin maxi. And then the other day, you know, this is how the song actually came about. My brother played the Michael Saylor thing for me, and he's like, yo, this would be so nice to use in a song. I was like, I really love it, but it made me think very hard about my stance on Bitcoin. And this is why I put my words into the song as well. Okay, did you guys hear my words of the song? Okay, many thanks, Dewald. Great. Yes, and you know, it made me realize that I am a Bitcoin maxi. I truly believe in Bitcoin. I have a big spot bag in Bitcoin, and it's one of those bags that I will most likely never sell. Okay, or maybe in 10, 20 maybe 30 years from now, I'll think about selling my Bitcoin, or my kids are just going to inherit it. Okay. It's just one of those assets, guys. I mean, I need to show you this, guys. I need to show you this. Let me tell you why I will not sell my Bitcoin. Or let me show you why I will not sell my Bitcoin. Let's go here onto the weekly. Is it the weekly time frame? Let's go to log scale. Let's do this. Ooh, I need to go to the monthly time frame. No, yeah. Okay. Let's do this, legends. This is the S&P 500. Just on a serious light note to end off the live stream, guys. This is the S&P 500. This little bottom, okay, let me just take the comment here out the way. This little bottom that we formed over here, okay, in 1932, okay, has just been going up. There's been bear markets along the way. There's been bubbles along the way. There's been collapses. There's been recessions. Everything that's happened in the last, you know, how many, since 1932 has happened to the market, but the trend is up. My sense is Bitcoin is now only over here or over here. Bitcoin is still very young. Bitcoin is here. Okay? It still has a long road ahead of it. So it doesn't matter, guys, if you buying the top, if you buying the little dip over here, if you're buying the top over there, if you're buying the top over there, it doesn't, even if you are the worst investor and you keep on buying all the tops over there, okay, you will still be better off in the long term. So Bitcoin for me is a long-term investment. I'm going to ride it through the bear markets. I'm going to ride it through the bull markets. It's genuinely a long-term investment for me because the trend, okay, I can tell you guys now, and this is my conviction in Bitcoin, and I agree with Michael Saylor if you've watched his documentaries on how he explains it so that it makes sense to you, okay, this is what you're looking for in the long term. And you will become wealthy if you have patience. If you have patience and you have conviction, you will be wealthy. But if you're a type of person that gets in and out and in and out, and you want to catch the highs and you want to catch the lows of the bear market, okay, no, I buy, I add more. Every month I buy Bitcoin. It doesn't matter how high Bitcoin is or how low Bitcoin is. I buy Bitcoin every single month from an investment perspective. Guys, and this is where Bitcoin is at the moment. This is where it is at the moment. This is where Bitcoin was initiated. Okay, this is Bitcoin's little life cycle compared to the S&P 500. And you know what is more insane? And I see there's a lot of people that jumped off the live stream, but what I'm telling you now is extremely powerful. Do you know what is more insane about Bitcoin? Okay, let me show you. Okay, because I'm very passionate about that. If I take a ruler, look at this. From the low of 1932 to the all-time high, okay, it's 146,000%. It's crazy, right? 146,000%. If I go to Bitcoin, okay, this is where things get crazy, but I need to use this one. Okay, right? Let's go to log scale. Since the inception of Bitcoin, well, the data that I have here on my screen, since the little bottom over there till the top over there, okay, I'm not even going to try and read that number, guys. Do you see how Bitcoin has outperformed the S&P 500 since 1930? Guys, you don't know the power of Bitcoin if you start doing the comparisons where Bitcoin is. I mean, the S&P 500 over the last 100 years has not even done what Bitcoin has done in the last 10 years. It's absolutely incredible. And this is why I'm a Bitcoin maxi. From an investment perspective, it's the only bag that I will never sell is Bitcoin. Most likely when I go on retirement and I want to buy something fancy or whatever the case might be, I will start taking those profits. Okay, but it's a long-term investment for me. No fucking altcoin okay, is going to stay in that portfolio but Bitcoin, because you guys know what happened to the altcoins. When we go into a bear market, most of the altcoins goes back to the bear market lows. And then you think to yourself, what's the use of holding on to these altcoins? Because it doesn't matter how good the fundamentals are from an altcoin perspective, they just seem to have the deepest, hardest fucking retracements. And then you think to yourself, yes, 4 years ago I bought this little altcoin, but now it's below that price where I bought it 4 years ago. But Bitcoin doesn't do that. The S&P 500 doesn't do that. The Nasdaq doesn't do that. You just have to have patience and you have to hold on. Right. Cool, legends. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. I hope you've enjoyed it. Remember to smash that like on your way out. Don't forget about the amazing deals down in the description. If you want to join our Legends Pro community, there's the link where I drop the alpha every single morning. Have yourselves a great evening. Until the next one, cheers for now.